Hello students, welcome to Swayam platform. Today we'll be having a discussion under urban local governance and we'll be discussing on several topics especially related to pollution and solid waste management and how it is affecting a city's development. We have a senior panel of members, experts with us. We have Dr. N. Ansuman. She is the head of the Department of Public Administration, and so happy to have you here. And we have Dr. Milton from the Department of Public Administration. And we also have a student. She is having a lot of questions, and she is there with us, to clarify all her doubts. And she is Denshia from MA Communication. Happy to have you, Denshia.
Thank you so much for having me, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you. And Dr. Ansuman, you look stressed. What is it?
I hope I was not showing that stressed expression because of the traffic congestion outside.
Okay.
Living in a city is not easy with all this traffic and pollution.
Yeah.
It's only stressing us out with hope we don't fall sick.
Oh, no, please don't worry. Wish our city was a smart city.
Ma'am, what exactly is a smart city?
I think ma'am would explain to us on
I
that.
should really tell you what smart city is all about. Smart city comes under 4 parameters. One is about economy, one is about the other one is about community, then we have technology and about energy. But all these encompasses few factors which is essential for a smart city. Like if you take energy, that should be renewable energy. Technology to connect people. So wherever we go, connection and a process should be accessible, easily accessible for the dwellers. And more important, we have to talk about energy that is good energy. Like if we have good solid waste management programs or pollution programs, which can reduce the pollution rate, it will be very effective. So smart cities encompasses 4 parameters mainly, which is technology, economy, energy, and of course community. Community participation in all the above 3 parameters will help bring about a smart city.
Yes, definitely. So, in that case, a sustainable city is the main parameter behind smart city. So, Dr. Milton, can you give us the importance of a clean city? How important is clean city?
Yes, ma'am. Actually, here we must understand one thing clearly. Clean city it is not only applicable for city alone.
Yeah.
It is applicable for all the places which is there in the nation. Especially when it comes to smart city, we have to focus more. We have to focus more. We have to focus more on cleanliness, sanitation. See, country like India, we need to have such a good practice in place how we can have a very clean city because a lot of diseases, which is because of we are not having a proper clean cities. That is the problem here. So here, I would like to just mention few important things on air pollution. So air pollution is the main reason for a lot of diseases. According to UN report, it says between 2030 to 2050, there are a lot of deaths because of air pollution. So in smart cities, okay, with the support of artificial intelligence, so that which enables to give up to date information about air pollution, so that ma'am has rightly pointed about something called community participation. We are living in the city, so it is our responsibility to take care of the city. So as and when we receive such kind of communication about air pollution, we have to take certain measures. See, if you travel, while traveling by bus or train, you'll be able to see how people are just like that. They're dumping the waste on the roadside. During the night time, they'll just they'll just burning all those things.
Yes.
So see a lot of vehicles, which the emission, the smoke which creates, lot of air pollution, especially carbon monoxide. If we have such a plan to control all those things, definitely we can get away from all those air pollution.
Pollution is a major concern, I would say.
Yes, ma'am.
Because when you take pollution, it's because of the effluents from the wastage from the industries, wastage is also from
Households.
solid waste management. When you talk about
Yeah.
it has pollutants.
Yeah.
You know how to degrade it so that we are safe.
Yeah.
The risk factors are reduced. So these are some concern. But when you also mentioned about community, I would like to say we have certain traditional practices also, which we have somewhere down the line we have forgotten. So there is traditional and also modernization with the use of AI.
Yeah, yes. Yeah, Denshia, what is your view on solid waste management and in general pollution? What is your
I think
experience?
from my experience, ma'am, in our streets, when even if one day the Akka does not come to clean it up, the place starts stinking, and then there's always this weird smell that accumulates the whole society, and that's not a very nice place to stay in. So I think waste management is definitely very important in order to help sustain urbanization. I think in the long run.
Correct. Yes, as Denshia says, solid waste management is definitely a very, very no important practice that should be there in our day-to-day life.
You are
And
an expert in solid waste management,
not
Dr. Japa. So I would like to ask you
Yes.
how to reduce or how to be aware about solid waste.
yeah, so definitely, Dr. Ansuman, thank you for that. See, solid waste management, first of all, there are so many steps involved. So, as Denshia mentioned, the recyclers, they play a very, very important role. So, and community, as you said, community, recyclers, everyone together. It's it's hand in hand. Everyone together should get involved in this, so that as Dr. Milton said, the whole city should be clean. The whole community should take part in it. And yeah, definitely plastics. What is your view then, Denshia, about plastic waste?
I really wish we could ban plastic because it's not really doing any good, I feel.
Oh, is it so? What?
Actually, she's right because in certain places they've forbidden any kind of plastics, and down south in Kanyakumari and all they have forbidden, and it is punishable. You know,
Even
they give
hill
a penalty.
stations like Kodaikanal
Yes.
forbid plastic, and they don't even sell plastic water bottles just to save the environment.
Okay. What about Dr. Milton? What is your view on?
Yes, I also agree to this, but at the same time, if we are able to recycle it,
Yeah.
yes, it is okay.
Okay, good. So maybe I would agree with Dr. Milton. As you all say, plastic, yes, in one hand, it is creating a lot of problem. It is creating a lot of, dump in the dump yard. We have so much of waste only through plastic. And if we are going to make a count of it, the average pollution that is caused by plastic is majority. So, yes, it is creating a lot of problems. But and on the other hand, plastic is poor man's friend. Anyone and everyone can afford plastic. No, earlier only the rich people will have all the furnitures. But if we see even a poor person, they have all kind of furnitures and appliances in their houses because it is plastic and because it is affordable. And on the other hand, environmental issues, deforestation is also avoided because of plastic. So there is a solution. And the solution is, as Dr. Milton said, recycling. Recycling is the
I
solution.
also feel, Dr. Jabba, that urbanization also encourages the use of plastic because they think it's a privilege.
Yeah.
Being in the city to use plastic, they need not be very conscious.
Yeah.
Because we have technology, we have systems, we have industries. But I think urban cities, urban areas should be more conscious than the rural areas because they are very basic in their
True.
in addressing these issues, and they are very clean about it. But in urban areas, it's not very effective.
True. I have a small task for you. So can I?
Yeah,
Can I
ma'am.
give that? Okay, I have some material. Maybe I will pass it on. So there is a code below the plastic bottles. Will you be able to see that and tell me what is that code? Can you see any code?
This bottle says number 2.
Yeah, number 2.
Yeah.
Anything else do you see?
It has the recyclable triangle.
Oh, very good.
Is this
Madam?
number 3?
No, this one. Can you see there is a number? There is also
Yes,
a number. Sir, can you?
Ma'am, this does not have any
number.
Only
Okay,
this manufacturing date and
No,
expiry date.
okay. Can you check on this?
Yes. It is,
Okay.
yes, number 2 is there.
Yeah, number 2.
Number 2 and recyclable.
Okay, good. So this loop, what Denshia, Ansuman ma'am and Milton sir, as you see here, there is a running loop, a triangular running loop. No, it runs itself with a arrow, and that is known as Mobius loop. Okay, so it is a recycling code. What we have here is a recycling code, and each number indicates a different type of plastic. Okay. The number 1, actually this one, it is number 1. So this is PET. This is a common plastic that we use. PET is polyethylene terephthalate. And number 2, I think what you have is number 2, right?
Yes.
The number 2 is high density polyethylene. And number 3 is UPVC, unplasticized polyvinyl chloride. So like that, for everything we have a code, and mainly it is recyclable. So all these plastic materials, thank you Dr. Milton for that. Thank you for doing that. Thank you, Denshia.
So
Yeah.
what does the numbers indicate?
Yeah, so each recyclable code indicates that this plastic material is recyclable. Okay. So this materials, first of all, when we use a plastic material, we should be aware that whether this material is recyclable or not.
Or not, yes.
So that is the first part where we have to minimize or recycle or manage this plastic. That is the first stage. So where when we use a recyclable material, we can minimize it, the usage of plastic. Especially the black covers. Have you seen the black covers?
Yes.
Which the vendors, when we go for a fish market or when we go for a meat, they give a black cover. That black cover is not at all advisable. Earlier, some 10 or 20 years back, our parents, our grandparents were carrying their own steel boxes,
Vessels,
and
okay.
yeah, so that was one of the healthiest practice. Whenever we are we have to go one time use plastics, so that can be banned. But all these recyclable, definitely it can be used. Only thing, we should have a proper recycling methodology. So that will definitely help the environment.
How does this recycling process go on?
Yeah. So there are a lot of methods for recycling. So maybe in 2010, 2011, we did one research project. So that is basically connecting the recyclers and a recycling methodology, and also creating awareness. So there are 3 steps involved in that. Number 1 is how and what is the role of the community. So first we should know what and how is the community getting involved in the plastic recycling. And number 2 is we as academicians, we should contribute to the society. So can we do anything about recycling? As public administration people, you can very well bring out the policies and whatever rules and regulations that is involved in using all these plastics. And maybe Denshia, being a communication student, she can involve in the awareness, creating awareness among the public, in using what type of plastic, how to use all these things. So as academicians, we all should join hands, in this process of recycling. As I told you, in my project, the first step was to go and get connected with the community. So what we did is we visited a nearby dump yard, and we also went and had a conversation with the municipal ward member. So he was giving explanation about how is solid waste management process carried out in his area. It is Tambaram, West Tambaram, Lakshmipuram. So that is the spot. So in that area, how is the solid waste management carried out? And our students also went and spoke with the residents of that area. So second set of people who are involved are the residents. So they are the main stakeholders. And the third set of people who are involved is the recyclers. So our students also went and visited the recyclers. And again, in recyclers, there are two different set of people. One is formal segment, another is informal segment. Any idea, Ansuman ma'am, about formal and informal segments?
Informal segments could be without any proper knowledge.
Yeah.
Whereas formal segments could be with skilled knowledge.
So have you seen any informal recyclers, Denshia?
Not to my knowledge.
Not to your knowledge. We have these rack pickers. Have you seen them?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So that set of people, we call them as informal recyclers.
That's like
So
they collect all the materials.
actually, they are a blessing in disguise. No, they do something for the living, but without a knowledge of how they are providing a sustainable environment. So these people, they don't have a proper salary, they don't have proper safety procedures, but they just do it for their living. So they are also contributing for this recycling process. Yeah, another set is formal. So formal recycling, they are paid, they have a payment, they have all the safety procedures, so they have a gloves, maybe they have a dress code or all those things, and they have a vehicle to carry and collect the material. So all these three set of people is the first category. One is the people in power, second is the residents of that area, and third is the recyclers. So all three should get equally involved and get give their contribution for this process. So that is the first category we visited, and we collected all the details, especially in the West Tambaram area. And second, now as I told, as an academician, what is our role? So we try to evolve a recycling technique. So one technique as a chemist, maybe let me not put it very complicated. It's a chemical recycling technique. So it is using a base like sodium hydroxide. So we try to depolymerize the polymer. So I told you, the number one, PET. So this PET, if it is recycled or if it is depolymerized, this is polyethylene terephthalate. From this we can get ethylene glycol and terephthalic acid. So these are the monomers of this polymer. So by that chemical recycling technique, we can get back the monomers. So that is what we did in the lab. So by a very simple technique. So it's actually a 3 hours experiment. So by doing that experiment, we tried to recycle and we got the monomers. And after getting the monomers, we have to communicate all these whatever we have learned. So again, we went back to the society. There are a lot of programs, and there are a lot of places where we can communicate. Especially when we have a science stall during January, we'll have in the Pongal time, we'll have all the science exhibitions conducted by the government. Trade fair, we call that as trade fair. It is conducted in the near the beach. We have that island city, island ground. So that is a place where people come. So there we can have such awareness programs. We can communicate to the local people about whatever the knowledge that we have gained. So finally that was our last step, awareness, creating awareness. And I think she would throw some light on how we can create awareness. What are the different methods? How can we communicate it to the society?
I think to focus on the younger generations, you can always have social media as like a platform for awareness, because that is where everybody is at right now. And we can also use promotional methods like posters, or just try to interact with anything that interacts with the society, to be a part of them and to enlighten them. I think works as a promotional method about this.
So nowadays this social media is doing a great role.
I remember during the time of, we come from a generation, to tell Denshia, that of the Doordarshan. So they used to have a lot of documentaries on how to keep your environment clean. So consciously we used to see that because we have no other choice. Nowadays you have a plethora of choices that you have to just change the channel. But we also enjoy watching the documentary. But now I realize how important that documentary was.
True.
Because they unconsciously make us aware that we are dirtying the place, keep the place clean. And also, Dr. Jabba, I was really happy to see that the students were involved
Yeah.
in relating the problem
Yeah.
with the community and
Yeah.
also being part of the
Yeah.
solution.
Yes.
So that is a great thing, and I think service learning should be something which is
Yeah, definitely. The whole program comes under service learning. Then the project was also sanctioned by UPCHIA under service learning program. So service learning program is one which connects your subject to the society, and whatever we learn from the society, we get it back to the classroom, and we can evolve something and again go back to the society. Again, it's a cyclic process. So connecting community and academics and going back to the community.
So I think when you're talking about solid waste management and service learning, if it is part of an education system, wouldn't it be great, Dr. Milton?
Definitely, ma'am. Definitely. We have to give this. Somehow, I feel we are missing this in our classroom. It should be there in the curriculum itself. So that if we come up with something like, so that itself can create a awareness about how to,
Yeah.
have a solid waste management in, place. Recently, ma'am, I got an opportunity to see one of the benches. Okay, this bench is made out of the plastic. So, as ma'am said, so that probably I believe it is would have been done by the formal, the recyclers would have collected, would have made these benches, and they have sponsored some benches and chairs to the classroom
Using
for the
the
teachers.
plastic?
Yes,
Yes,
plastic,
yes,
100%, 100% plastic.
Not only tables, there is one road in Kerala for at least some few kilometers. It is made up of plastic.
Plastic. Okay.
So definitely we can make use of all these plastics, and we can make our city a smart city.
We have been sorry. Ma'am.
Yes, please.
We have been telling, to the society, we are just, creating awareness about, how it is so harmful for the, society, especially in the ocean area. So, if we have such a policy in place to collect all these, plastics, probably, this can be, used like what ma'am said. For certain kilometers, they have used instead of tar or cement.
Yeah.
For the laying of road, so that in future we can plan for something,
Definitely,
so
yes.
that we can avoid pollution.
Definitely.
I think this is a very good example because when you told about roads, I think Chennai is also marching towards bringing a
Infrastructure.
very clean, renewable energy
Yeah.
for solid waste management, also using solid waste management. They brought a system in place. Before it was public-private partnership. Right now, the government themselves are responsible, and that is making the community also participate. So, from what you tell, is a wonderful idea. There should be a model, maybe a model area or block, which shows that how solid waste management can be effectively done,
Yeah.
and also I just wanted to finish with one question. Whether it can be practiced at home.
Definitely, simple steps we can use. As I told in the beginning, which plastic are you bringing inside the house? So that is the first place we can put a ban. That is the first place we can stop. And if it is a recycling code, we can put it in separate covers and give it to the formal recyclers.
Okay.
So we can have a separate cover for all our plastics, especially your recyclable. And if it is non-recyclable, we have to put it in a separate cover. So segregation should start from house itself. So segregation is the first step in recycling. Not only plastic, for solid waste management as a whole, segregation is the first step, and it should start from house. I'm so glad to have this kind of a discussion. No more than being a chemist, more than being a science, from the science background. having a discussion with the public administration and communication, it is bringing and gelling a lot of other ideas which can be practically made possible. And this solid waste management, can be definitely made possible, and we can create a smart city when all these ideas pull in together. What do you say?
I definitely think so, because it becomes interdisciplinary
Yeah.
in nature, and how to bring in research, how to bring in service learning, how to bring in the young generation, because
Yeah.
I think the young generation is willing to learn,
Yes.
and they're willing to bring that change, because they want change in their system.
Yes.
So, and they are our targets. So, we should actually make them very conscious and responsible so that it can be passed on. And I feel that the need of having solid waste management workshops is very important.
True.
In any institution, in any community. At least it should be a corporate social responsibility by any big companies, which they are right now, promoting the idea of solid waste management to show simple way of segregation. So you rightly pointed out that it starts from the individual, it starts from your home.
Yeah.
Of separating, because there are times when you are so tired or you're lazy to separate it. You just take it and discard it in the same place. But the whole we should understand when one act of ours is going to cause a whole city.
True.
Perhaps we won't have such an issue of pollution, because definitely the city is getting overpopulated, but at the same time we can reduce pollution, we can reduce the waste, and also make it recyclable and make our life more worth living. And I think the best way is to start is also at home. And as teachers, educationists, we can also start in our classroom.
True.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, it was a great discussion, and thank you, Denshia. Thank you, Dr. Milton. Thank you, Dr. Ansuman, for coming for this discussion, even in your busy schedule.
I understand that. But I just want to put forth one last point, Dr. Jabba, that in your experience as, doing a study on solid waste management, what do you think is the gap which we all can end with, thinking about that gap?
Definitely, the gap is between an academician and the community. So, as students, as teachers, we learn something in the classroom, but what is applied in the field is completely different. The methodology that they adopt, that the practices that they have is completely different. So definitely we should have a practical visit or a field visit. Occasionally we should go there, and definitely we should learn a lot from the society. Hand in hand, whatever we teach in the classroom is not sufficient. We have to go to the society, be it be science, or let it be arts, or let it be communication, or whatever be the field, we have to go to the society.
I think when Ma'am is telling about this, Dr. Milton, I think good governance plays an important role. If you take good governance itself for solid waste management, like we take the word participation.
Yeah.
So you need the participation
True.
of academicians, we need the participation of the industry, the government, and also the community. Now, if you take accountability, the government should also be accountable, so also the community should be accountable. Because we saw a lot of disasters happen
True.
because of bad management, because of the waste, because we saw how Chennai floods was caused because the waste was not cleared at the right time, or we didn't have a proper solid waste management system. Also, we need to take the responsibility. Once we take the individual responsibility and also the stakeholder responsibility, I think we'll have an engaged governance, which will only improve on efficiency and effectiveness.
True.
Effectiveness is how to recycle plastic effectively, and how conscious we are. Because you gave us simple examples like how to avoid carrying black bags for the market.
Yeah.
We can take our own bags. So small ways can help the whole country in a bigger way.
correct.
And we are all responsible. I think as a fundamental duty, as the Constitution says, it's also a fundamental duty of every citizen to protect their city.
Yeah.
Especially when we are all city dwellers, we are responsible for what happened to the cities. And definitely, the government will also play a role, and we will be responsible enough to place right people in government so that altogether we are working towards having a sustainable life
Yeah.
and also a clean life, clean energy life with proper management systems.
So definitely we are moving towards a smart city.
That is the
Are we
need of
not?
the hour. Yes,
Yeah,
of
that
course.
is our ultimate task. Oh, thank you all for being
Thank
here.
you.
It was a wonderful time.
Look at the camera.
Thank you for all of you for joining. And definitely, we all should be the change and to create a smart city. Thank you.